Hello, and welcome to the complete Five Nights at Freddy's lore. This video tries to explain the story behind the successful franchise. Do not take this as the official timeline. It all starts with William Afton and his family, with also Henry Emily and his daughter. The two men are close friends who know robotics, so one day they decide to open a diner with animatronic mascots. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie are the first animatronics they have created. They are spring lock suits. A spring lock suit is a special animatronic that can be used as both an animatronic and suit. In order to turn the animatronic into suit mode, you will require a special crank which pushes the endoskeleton and mechanical gears to the sides of the suit, making just enough space to wedge a person inside. After Fredbear's Family Diner opened in the late 70s or early 80s, it became popular and was a huge success. Years later in 1983, William and Henry create the Fazbear Entertainment Company, and with that, a new location, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This new location has new animatronic characters, Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Rabbit/Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Pirate Fox and a security puppet. William's youngest son, who we still don't know the name but who we will call Evan, is bullied by his brother Michael because he's scared of the animatronics. The day of Evan's birthday at Fredbear's, Michael and his friends force Evan to go to Fredbear. When they're in front of the bear, they decide to put him in Fredbear's jaws as a joke. After having his head crushed, the child dies in a hospital, while Michael regrets what he's done. Fredbear's Family Diner closes after the incident. One night, Henry's daughter Charlotte gets kicked out of Freddy's by other bullies. Meanwhile, William is passing by. He sees Charlotte and gets closer to her. However, William kills her. For the puppet, who is programmed to protect her in that moment, is too late, but it decides to go outside to find her. The rain breaks the puppet, and in its last moments, it finds Charlotte and deactivates near her body. And it was in that moment that Charlotte's soul possessed the puppet. She was William's first victim, as Henry says.
A wound first inflicted on me.
Years later in 1985, William kills 5 children while wearing a Spring Bonnie suit to gain their trust. The first one is Susie, a child who lost her dog. William lures her in the location, saying that the dog isn't really dead and that it's inside. After killing the children, he stuffs them into the animatronic suits. The puppet then helps them to possess the animatronics. After the incident, the location closes. After a while, William realizes that the animatronics are possessed, so he discovers something really powerful, Remnant. The Remnant is described as a molten liquid metal made from possessed stuff, which if injected into an object, can make said object possessed. Strong emotional energy such as agony is also considered Remnant as it can make objects haunted and sometimes create entities. William Afton creates a new location called Circus Baby's Pizza World to continue his killings and experiments. The main mascot is Circus Baby, who is programmed to kill. William wants to use Remnant to gain immortality. However, the location opened for only one day, as William's daughter, Elizabeth, went too close to Baby, resulting in her death. Some years later in 1987, Henry and William aren't associated with the franchise anymore, but Fazbear Entertainment is still active. A new location opens with new versions of the animatronics, while the old ones are left to rot in a room. William sneaks in the pizzeria and kills 5 more children. The puppet then tells Withered Freddy to save them. They most likely possess the toy animatronics and the location goes under investigation after the incident.
Okay, so just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days, I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes. It'll all get sorted out in a few days. Just keep an eye on things and I'll keep you posted.
These are pre-recorded messages because the phone guy says that this is your new summer job.
Hello? Hello, hello? Hello and welcome to your new summer job. at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
But the game takes place in November. Jeremy Fitzgerald works as a security guard in this location for 6 nights until he gets moved to the day shift. That day an animatronic bites his frontal lobe, but he survives without it. That event is known as the Bite of 87. The pizzeria closes, the toy animatronics get scrapped and the old ones are kept for future plans. In 1988 a new and cheaper location opens, the withered animatronics are reused and remodeled, and the location lasts until 1993. Phone guy gets killed and Michael Afton works here with the name Mike Schmidt. However he gets fired after his 7th night for tampering with the animatronics and odor. This is not the first time something like this happened. Back in FNaF 2 a man named Fritz Smith was fired for the same reasons after only one night. He could be Michael too. The location closes because it was not doing well and gets abandoned. After the location gets abandoned, William comes back and destroys the animatronics. He takes remnant from them and injects it into his creations, the Funtime animatronics.
Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not.
He then sends Michael to an underground location called Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental to save Elizabeth somehow. When William comes back for one last time in the abandoned location, the souls of his victims surround him. He is in the safe room where his spring Bonnie suit was put, so he decides to hide in it. However the spring locks fail and he gets crushed inside of the suit. Michael is working as a technician in the underground location and tries to survive against his father's creations. He realizes that Circus Baby is possessed by his sister and that maybe she's trying to help. But that is not the case. All the animatronics combine into one being called Ennard and kill Michael. Their plan is to use him as a skin suit to escape. Their plan works, but after a while Michael's body starts to rot and to become of a purple color. Ennard comes out and goes into the sewers, and Michael comes back to life thanks to the remnant. He wants to find his father and stop him. After his experience at Freddy's and Circus Baby's, Michael gets a security logbook. In this logbook a spirit is writing questions, and one of them is, "Do you have dreams?" Michael answers this question with a drawing of a nightmarish version of Fredbear. In fact Michael is dreaming nightmarish versions of the animatronics, and he's a child in these dreams. It's theorized that this is happening due to him remembering the death of his brother and guilt. 30 years after Freddy's closed, a horror attraction about the stories of the franchise is about to open. Stuff found in the abandoned location gets brought there. Until they find the spring Bonnie suit and bring it with them too, without knowing what's inside. William Afton comes back as Springtrap and tries to kill the night guard in that location. The night guard is also having hallucinations of past characters. After 6 nights, the location burns down due to faulty wiring. William, however, survives. Meanwhile, the animatronics in Ennard eject Baby from the body after an argument. Funtime Freddy takes control of Ennard and Circus Baby tries to fix herself. After years of absence, Henry returns with a plan. He opens the Freddy Fazbear's pizza place in hopes to attract the remaining animatronics. Meanwhile, Michael decides to work there in hopes to find his father. Henry also creates an animatronic bear called Lefte, or Lefty in short, that is programmed to catch the puppet and bring it to the location. The plan works, and now Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, Lefty and William Afton are in the location, but in an underground labyrinth. Henry then sets fire to the location in hopes to put an end to everything, with him inside and Michael, who wanted to stay. However, a vengeful spirit is taking revenge on William Afton, keeping him alive even after that fire, while torturing him in some sort of never-ending nightmare in which William needs to survive against more than 50 animatronics. This spirit seems to be Golden Freddy, and the characters call him, the one you shouldn't have killed. Meanwhile in the real world, years pass. Fazbear Entertainment comes back under new management and tries to get a good reputation again. To do so, they hire an indie game developer to make games about the real events of the franchise, then proceed to discredit them and call the developer a lunatic that creates childish ghost stories. So Fazbear Entertainment decides to create a video game based on these stories to profit on them. To speed up the process, they scan old animatronic circuit boards that were found. It's a VR game. Also, they changed development teams a few times. The spirit meets with a character named Old Man Consequences, who tells the spirit to leave the demon to his demons and rest. But it was already too late. After scanning one of the circuit boards, a strange character starts to appear in the video game. It looks like Spring Bunny, and seems to be a virus. After finding the anomaly, a beta tester makes tapes about what is happening in the company and what the virus is doing. Another beta tester named Jeremy played the game. He experienced nightmares and seemed to be talking to someone while playing. According to the other beta tester, Jeremy seemed to have lost control and may have cut his own face off with a guillotine paper slicer, while the company was deciding to fire him. So the other beta tester tries to find a way to delete the virus and hides all the tapes in the game for the next beta tester. The new beta tester is a person named Vanessa who finds all the tapes. However, the virus seems to be attached to the tapes, so the previous beta tester says to not collect them all. But it's too late. The virus tries to take control of Vanessa through the VR headset, and is successful. The virus is actually William Afton himself, and the circuit board seems to come from Afton's suit. Vanessa now needs to follow his orders. She has now a second personality named Vanny who is under his control. Fazbear Entertainment creates a delivery service called the Fazbear Funtime Service, which sends copies of animatronics to people who are subscribed to it. However, the virus has infected the animatronics and they're now aggressive. Vanessa works for this service but then gets moved to a new location as a security guard. The new location is the biggest one the company has made yet. The Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. Vanny presumably kills 9 children under Afton's control, and the main animatronics of the Pizzaplex get infected with the virus. Except for Freddy, because he had a malfunction before it happened. That's when a child named Gregory hides inside of him, and together they try to find a way to escape. However, Gregory is very brave, and finds ways to destroy Chica, Roxanne and Monty because he wants to upgrade Freddy with their parts. There are 6 endings, but only 2 of them can be the canon one, so I will explain both. After fully upgrading Freddy, they go to an underground section of the Pizzaplex where there's an old elevator. The elevator takes to a tunnel with lots of rubble and generators. It's in that moment that they find the Freddy Fazbear's pizza place. The location sank into a sinkhole, and the Pizzaplex was built on top of it. After entering the location, Freddy says that he knows what that place is, that Vanny brought him there, and also implies that he may actually be possessed by a spirit. They go deeper, and they find something sleeping. It's Molten Freddy, and now it's a giant amalgamation of possessed stuff, now called the Blob. It's now probably the biggest source of remnant. Gregory and Freddy fall down and find themselves in an office, presumably Henry's. In that moment, something else activates. It's Springtrap. Afton is inside his original body again, but fixed with a new endoskeleton. William tries to take control of Freddy, while also sending the broken characters against Gregory. The Blob also checks what is happening down there. Gregory tries to burn Afton again, until the building goes on fire, again. While William tries to escape, the Blob attacks him. The building collapses, and Gregory and Freddy get out safely, then sit on a hill. However, Vanny could still be around, and the Afton virus is probably still around too. In the other ending, Gregory and Freddy go against Vanny. She orders the other bots to disassemble Freddy, while Gregory tries to run to her hideout. In order to get this ending, you need to play the 3 Princess Quest mini-games. In these mini-games you control a princess who is fighting against the Afton virus. In the last one you free Vanessa from his control. In the end, Gregory, Vanessa and Freddy's heads sit on a hill. However, in this ending Afton is still in the underground pizza place, and the Blob too. Also the Afton virus could still be around, just not controlling Vanessa anymore. This is the end for now until the DLC releases. I hope you enjoyed this video. Here's some extra stuff. The names of the original missing children are Gabriel, Fritz, Susie, and Jeremy. The fifth child's name is Cassidy. The name can be found in the logbook. Nightmare, from Michael's dreams, is called Shadow Freddy in the game files. This is not the only time a shadow appeared as a monster in a dream. In another story the same thing happened but with Shadow Bonnie instead. Afton's house from the minigames and the one from the dreams are two different locations connected to Circus Baby's entertainment and rental. There's also the plush trap corridor too. In this map there seems to be animatronics marked on the dream house in the same spots of the nightmare animatronics. This may imply that they were actually Afton's creations. So is Michael remembering them? Did William do something to Michael with them? William also put cameras in that house. The name of the princess was Cassidy before it got changed into just Princess. So she could be Cassidy trying to stop Afton again and save Vanessa. The scooper, the thing that killed Michael, was actually used to inject remnant in the animatronics. Fazbear Entertainment fires people by giving them stupid reasons. That's why Michael was fired for odor. It was just a joke, and not because he's a rotting corpse. Also he wasn't a corpse during that time.
You can always tell when a company is getting ready to fire someone. They start giving out written warnings for silly things, making sure to build a paper trail and make a case for a firing. Things that normally no one would care about suddenly become grave offenses.
We don't know who is the night guard in the third game. He can be a random person, Hudson from the books, or Michael. If he's Michael, then the hallucinations make more sense, but only if he's Fritz in the second game of course, and the fire may not have been an accident if this is the case. That's all, goodbye for now. See you next time.